Hello and welcome to another episode of Wuzzy's Electronic Album Picks. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm now finally more animated. Today I'm going to talk about Royal Astronomy by mu-Ziq. It was released July 26, 1999. The album has 14 tracks, but I have the Japanese version with 16 tracks. The regular release has a length of 59 minutes and 16 seconds. The Japanese version has a length of an hour and 8 minutes and 29 seconds. The style is left field, IDM, drum and bass, and experimental. I really like this booklet here.
Most ambitious work to date, embattled stab at classicism steeped in lush, orchestrations that can be anything from sweetly elegiac to darkly bizarre.
Very interesting. I'll have to read more about that later. These are my 3 favorite tracks. Track 3, Ottoman Acid. Track 6, the Motorbike Track. Track 13, Burst Your Arm. Now, if you don't have your earbuds or headphones on, put them on now and enjoy the show. Track 3, a very funky and cool sounding track. It has this kind of glitchy clicking sound going on in the background. I love the synths in this one. I also really like the strange experimental voice sample. Reminds me a bit of Freesia, with some of their stuff that they did in their album Head Warlock Double Stare. Highly recommend that album as well. This track has a very sick, complex beat, and as it progresses, it gets heavier. And I really like it. It's got this one cool part where it breaks down. It's quite experimental. Track 6, the longest track on the album, and it's blasting with a funny voice sample. It also has some other interesting samples in it too. It has some very cool bass synths. The wild beat slowly builds up and gets very fast. It's fun, cool, and punky. A good track to crank up loud. Track 13, here we have another longer track. It has this cool woozy sounding bass synth that comes in and plays throughout most of the track. It has this neat bit where the woozy synth just kind of breaks down a bit and then it mixes with the original sound. I really like the experimenting here, especially near the end. There's lots of other neat sounds pulsing along with this track as it builds. The beat is quick and wild, a bit more in the background as the main woozy synth takes the spotlight. This track also has other voice samples in the mix. It's some very good stuff. Track 15, The Fear Remixed. This track is the bonus track off the Japanese version. There is a track on here called The Fear. It's a very good track, but the remix version is better in my opinion. It has this more heavier feel with distortion and a cooler beat. The singing sounds very cool, a bit wet and distorted sounding. The original is a little bit more clean. It's got lovely synths everywhere, and the beat is slower and more chill. This is a great album here, a must listen for any fan of electronic and drum and bass music. The album has an interesting mix of music with a handful of tracks that have this kind of dungeon synth feel to it. They're a little bit less experimental, but there's also a track called Slice that's like drum and bass mixed with this dungeony synth style. The album has some really funky and punky stuff as well. There's lots to be explored on this album. Now, if you see it on Wuzzy's picks, this album to be heard, so I hope you guys check out the full album. Okay, that's today's episode. If you're new to the show and liked what you heard, hit that subscribe button and a thumbs up. Also, hit that bell so you'll be notified when I have my next video out. Be sure to check out my SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram for Rhubarb Cabin Records for my latest releases. You can find my 3 latest releases in the description. If you want to hear more of my music on YouTube, check out my other channels. So, just before I wrap this up, a huge shout out to my friend TechWolf for making these awesome animations for me. They look awesome, and I'm so happy to work with these now. So yes, thanks again, man. Thanks for watching. Take care and have an awesome day and night. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.